There are seasons in life when every breath feels heavy and every step feels slow. You look around and wonder if you've been forgotten, if God has turned his face away. The nights seem endless, filled with silent tears and questions that never find answers. You pray, but all you hear is the echo of your own voice. It's in those moments of quiet despair that faith feels most fragile, like a candle flickering in a storm. But even a faint flame can hold back the darkness, and even your weakest prayer still shakes heaven. You were never meant to carry the battle alone. The weight you feel isn't a sign of weakness. It's a reminder that you were created to depend on divine strength. When your strength runs out, his begins. When your hope fades, his promise remains unbroken. God doesn't expect perfection. He asks for persistence. Even when you feel empty, keep showing up. Keep believing that what looks like the end is only a turning point. Every storm, every heartbreak, every unanswered prayer is a page in the story of your becoming. Pain doesn't mean God has left you. It means he's preparing you. The pressure you feel is shaping your character, building resilience, and deepening your trust. Sometimes, God allows us to reach the end of ourselves so we can finally find the beginning of him. So when your heart says, "I can't go on," let your soul whisper, "But God can." You've already survived so much more than you thought possible. You're not here by accident. You're still breathing because your purpose isn't finished. Don't quit when it hurts. Don't stop when it's dark. The night will end, and when it does, you'll see that God never left your side. Life has a way of throwing us into the storm without warning. One moment, everything feels calm, and the next, you're drowning in problems you didn't see coming. The waves rise higher, your vision blurs, and fear begins to whisper that you won't make it. But even in that chaos, even when everything inside you wants to scream, "Where are you, God?" He is right there in the middle of the storm. God doesn't always calm the storm immediately. Sometimes he calms his child first. The rain may fall, but his presence covers you like a shield. The thunder may roar, but his voice still whispers peace. Every storm that touches your life is permitted not to destroy you, but to strengthen your foundation. A tree that survives strong winds grows deeper roots. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. When the pain feels endless, remind yourself of this: no storm lasts forever. The clouds will clear, the wind will still, and what tried to drown you will become the water that carries you forward. The things that once broke you will teach you how to bend without breaking. Every wave that hits you is teaching you endurance, and every thunderclap is proving that you can stand even in chaos. Hold on, because the one who commands the wind also walks on water. The storm may be powerful, but it is not stronger than your God. He has never lost control, not for a single second. Even in the dark, he's working. Even in the silence, he's speaking. Even in the pain, he's present. There will be moments in your journey when nothing makes sense. You'll look at your life and wonder why certain doors closed, why people left, and why things fell apart when you gave everything. It's in those moments that you must remember, just because you can't see God's hand doesn't mean it isn't moving. He often hides his work so that faith can grow stronger than sight. God is a master of hidden preparation. While you're crying over what's lost, He's rearranging what's coming. You think the delay means denial, but He's only aligning the right pieces. Every closed door was protection. Every rejection was redirection. Every waiting season was an invisible classroom where you learned what success could never teach you: patience, humility, and trust. Faith means trusting the unseen. It's standing still when you can't feel His presence, yet believing He's still there. When God seems silent, that's not abandonment. That's strategy. He's testing how deeply you'll trust Him when the map disappears. It's easy to believe when everything is visible, but true faith is believing when nothing is. So if you can't trace His hand, trust His heart. You may not understand the why now, but one day you'll look back and realize it all made sense. God's hidden hand has been writing your victory story the entire time. Loneliness is one of the most painful battles of all. It creeps in quietly, even in crowded rooms, even when you smile. You can be surrounded by people and still feel unseen. You can be strong for everyone and yet crumble inside when no one's watching. But even in your deepest loneliness, you are never truly alone. God's presence doesn't depend on your feelings. It's a promise. There's beauty in isolation that we rarely notice. Sometimes God separates you not to punish you, but to prepare you. He removes distractions so you can hear His voice more clearly. He lets the crowd fade so you can finally see Him face to face. In the silence, you begin to understand that peace isn't found in people. It's found in His presence. When you think nobody understands your pain, remember, Jesus does. He was abandoned, betrayed, misunderstood, and yet He loved until the end. He knows what it feels like to be alone in the garden, crying, "Father, if it's possible, take this cup from me." You're walking a road He's already walked, and He conquered it so that you could too. So don't despise solitude. Use it to rebuild your strength. Let it draw you closer to the one who will never leave you nor forsake you. When everyone else walks away, God walks in. When you feel invisible, He calls your name. Perseverance is more than endurance. It's faith in action. It's choosing to rise one more time after you've fallen 100 times. It's believing in the promise when the evidence says otherwise. The enemy doesn't fear your talent, he fears your consistency. If he can't stop you, he'll try to tire you. But every time you keep going, you declare to heaven and hell alike, "I still believe." God's greatest blessings often hide behind the walls of persistence. Those who refuse to quit are the ones who see miracles. Every no you've heard has pushed you closer to the yes that matters. Every setback was a setup for the story that's still being written. The pressure you feel is proof that something precious is being formed inside you. Perseverance doesn't mean you don't cry. It means you cry and still continue. It means you walk through fear instead of waiting for it to disappear. It's standing firm when the world tells you to run. The truth is, persistence is the language of victory, and heaven understands it well. Don't let exhaustion define your story. Rest if you must, but don't you dare give up. The same God who began this work in you will finish it. Every step forward, no matter how small, is still progress toward His promise. The greatest war is not around you, it's within you. It's the conflict between who you were and who God is calling you to become.
Every day, faith and fear wrestle for your attention. One whispers that you can, the other screams that you can't. The battlefield is your mind, and every thought is a soldier that either fights for your peace or against it. The devil can't take what God has given you, but he can convince you to doubt it. He feeds on your insecurity, using your past as proof that you're not worthy. But every time you choose truth over lies, you win. Every time you declare, "I am forgiven, I am chosen, I am loved," the enemy loses ground. Victory begins when you renew your mind. When you let God's word shape your thoughts, your fears start to lose their grip. You begin to walk with confidence, not because you are perfect, but because you are protected. You start to realize that strength doesn't come from never falling. It comes from rising every time you do. So guard your mind, fill it with faith, hope, and truth. You are not a failure, you are a fighter. And every time you silence fear, you prove that the God inside you is greater than the war around you. There's a unique kind of pain that comes from praying without seeing results. You give your heart to God, and all you get is silence. You plead for healing, for change, for direction, but heaven seems still. It's in those seasons that doubt begins to whisper, "Maybe God doesn't care." But that's a lie. Silence is not absence, it's preparation. God hears every word, even the ones spoken in tears. The delay isn't rejection, it's timing. Sometimes He's preparing the miracle, sometimes He's preparing you for it. What you call unanswered, He calls unfinished. You see the waiting as wasted time, but He sees it as sacred space for growth. If God gave you everything you asked for instantly, you'd never learn to trust Him. The waiting seasons teach you dependence, humility, and patience. They stretch your faith beyond what's comfortable. They remind you that God is not a vending machine. He's a Father who gives at the perfect moment. Keep praying. Keep believing. Even when it feels like nothing's happening, heaven is moving. Your prayers are not forgotten, they are building momentum in the unseen. One day, when the timing aligns, it will all unfold, and you'll realize that every second of waiting was worth it. Victory rarely looks like victory while you're in it. Sometimes it looks like defeat, heartbreak, or silence. But the absence of visible progress doesn't mean God isn't working. The cross looked like failure, yet it was the greatest triumph in history. The tomb looked like the end, yet it was the beginning of resurrection. Right now, you may be standing in your Friday, surrounded by pain and confusion. But Sunday is coming. The stone will roll away. The darkness that's trying to bury you will soon reveal what God was resurrecting all along. You might not see the breakthrough, but it's already on the way. Every scar you carry is evidence that you've survived. Every tear is proof of endurance. You are a living testimony that brokenness can still birth beauty. The victory you don't see yet is already written in heaven. You're not fighting for victory, you're fighting from it. Hold your head high. You're closer than you think. The story is still unfolding, and God has never lost a battle. If He's fighting for you, and He is, then victory is not a question, it's a guarantee. Trust is the hardest form of faith. It's easy to believe when everything is going well, but trust is tested in the dark. It's standing still when every instinct says to run. It's saying, "God, I don't understand, but I still believe." When you trust in the dark, you give God something beautiful. Your complete surrender. You're saying, even if it hurts, I'll hold on. Even if it takes time, I'll wait. God treasures that kind of faith. It's the faith that moves mountains, parts seas, and opens impossible doors. Every act of trust is a seed. It may take time to grow, but it always bears fruit. The reward is not always material. Sometimes it's peace that makes no sense, joy that can't be explained, or strength that surprises even you. So keep trusting, keep walking. Don't let fear dictate your steps. What God started in you, He will finish. The reward is coming. Maybe not how you expect, but better than you could imagine. You've cried enough tears to fill oceans. You've fought battles no one knows about. You've carried weights that would have crushed others. And yet, here you are, still standing. That alone is proof that God's hand has never left you. The fight is not over, and neither are you. You may be tired, but you're not finished. You may feel weak, but you're not defeated. Every scar, every bruise, every struggle is proof that you're still in the game, and that means victory is still possible. When you can't fight anymore, it's okay. Let God fight for you. He never loses. His angels surround you, His Spirit strengthens you, and His love covers you. What you thought was the end is about to become your greatest testimony. So don't quit. Don't surrender. Don't let the darkness convince you that it is won. The same God who split the sea, shut the mouths of lions, and raised the dead is the one who's fighting for you. Stand tall, breathe deep, and believe again, because victory is already written in your name. Impossible.